Right, ebusuan be like video no share dia mo before na ono so anya bi etumi ahwe lawyer obi atranse ne na pamfo atwetwe nkomo bebre na nsem o mabro so de enya asem kitwa de fa galamse issues ho afi nso cocoa board ho ni nyina omadwudwam na Dr. Kwabna Donfe enso so etwetwe nkomo ni bi mi kire Kabila na afi nso no Chief Bani omo nyina e de nsem bebre gudwa mepese ye begibre na yakotietie bie na yenso yacheche yadwen de afa nsem won ekoso wo Ghana ehu na yenso yetumi ahya mo bi fufuro na wanya bi etumi ahwe
me nko
okay
me visa se no mobo no tofa
okay
yentwe national division omundo som
yes
because nsem no nyensem a edefom
enyensem ketwa
dabi kra said na ayi Vincent Eka no Article 284 no sabi wouldn't say a code of conduct for public officers. Conflict of interest, apparent conflict of interest, real what ethics sanyama ya be known with them from. And the fact say was it resign that be not declare resign no and yeah enough to remove any. The question is bra no cocoa board no body are taking decisions companies ayebe mo adwuma ye no otiso ana sa company no ba before that board no or recuse no ho or declare wo minutes mu so wo vested interest wo ho ni nyina no hiraje nyama no the mesra ne say nsam no ba say ya ma ye ni hu nkomo ni nyina wo afidie so say yam poposo na ni so ne yan twa ye bu ne ndo so mu na awie ye no de be kwakosi no emwa atentrene enye adwuma ya mamra no ejina nema nan so transparency, responsibility, accountability and a service.
Yes.
Who is anema ya constitution agu?
Yes.
Ti ahwe ne yemfa bibianto ye.
Resetting or
restoration. Restoration.
Okay.
Back to status quo ante. Monamuka. Ansana 69 beba so-called Kotoka Trust.
Yebe kreti an illegal regime. E kreti yedema obia ono obu ono anesekanyano. And that's what people don't understand. General Okran, a true book with the politics of the sword, in which he said the police and the soldier had no business in civilian life, yes,
except to help protect and secure the integrity,
yes,
territorial integrity of the place of the nation,
of the state,
and when necessary, no, get involved in civilian matters to restore peace and sanity.
Yes.
Sure, Obi. Kotoka was a coup maker.
That is not in doubt.
He had committed treasonable act. He was not tried. But this case, the celebrated 31st December case that was taken to court by the MPP, represented by senior counsel, the late Peter Alajeti, and I have it here.
He was counsel for the MPP.
For the MPP.
Yes.
Now, Justice Acha, I don't know dissentio. In the lead judgment, no. Lead dissenting opinion, no.
Yes.
Or say, I will deal now with the case on its merit. Legal counsel for the plaintiff, Mr. Ajeti, first contended that the coup of 24 February 1966, which violently overthrew the Constitution 1960, it overthrew the Constitution 1960, a copy of which is here. They say the Bill of Rights are not here. It is here.
Judicial.
They say the Parliament of 1960 was sovereign and was not without authority. That's a lie. So, constitutional supremacy, it was established here. The law is here. They overthrew this constitution and toppled the Nkrumah regime. Was illegal. This is Leonard Council.
The coup was illegal.
Yes. That toppled the Nkrumah regime and overthrew the constitution 1960.
But it's a no-brainer. Every coup is
me say this was the argument of the council for plaintiffs.
Okay.
Say when Ana or say anya no kwa or kai 72 13 January they come.
Okay.
The sum of it ni say e no mudi ye omu basis foundation they can say yenya oman sika ye celebrate 31st December.
Sure.
Fast forward and so be free sa party no mu e be catch himself or endorse the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow. And I say the overthrow of the 1960 constitution. So nipa no na wa kan sa judgment yana. One kind. Indeed, there was clarity in this case. Say, their course now be their course 1966, and no na a be a quantum Homa 13th January 1972 by
and subsequent coups.
And it's important when you read A Decade of Coups by Guterres 1975. Now Kokai W.W. Welling 1972. The roots of corruption in Ghana. Achampon ye ni coup no. The first announcement. Or say, or refer to so-called corruption. And mind you, Achampon was a member of the NLC.
Yes.
And became the leader of the NRC. Or see the coup. Omudi used to rationalize the overthrow from Nkrumah. The NLC, which he was a part of, and the Buzia government had failed to get rid of it. Okay. On the basis of purported corruption, unproven. Now, as Guterres said, almost all the military governments are taking over from civilian governments. Argument in Nara, they turn round being worse offenders. Worse offenders. Nkrumah was accused of one-party state. The CPP was banned.
Yes.
Forever. Not until 1998. Freddie Blenheim, Senior, Michel, and the court say, in the spirit of the 1992 constitution, it was inconsistent. And the name CPP ever came back. They banned the CPP. Not only that, about 39 ministers of the CPP administration were banned from ever holding public office. And nothing more regala. One team contest in 1979 on the ticket of the PMP. People don't know this. Kwame Nkrumah, a price was put on his head. Academy of Arts and Sciences were on a tier established in 1958. Go and read Professor Kwapon. They tried Nkrumah in absentia without a hearing and sentenced him to a forever a free Academy of Arts and Sciences. Not until 2010 year. And I restore here until the first restoration lecture was given by Professor Kwapon himself. 2009, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Lecture. And a reinstated his adieno. Yet the Sikato Nkrumah Tiso, even in death, that's why Ghana had to go and beg Sekuture to bring Nkrumah's body, to exhume him and bring him to bury here. Yes, it's unfortunate that Dankwa died in jail, and I condemn it. Nkrumah received a letter, true love Dankwa. But what people forget, me say, Haleni Dekuna Omubeye Ku Tia Nkrumah. They were responsible for the continued detention of Dankwa.
At the time, the head of the police.
Yes, and the CID, that's a special branch. But the young Nkrumah would take the political fall. So what I say, Masa.
So why do you think Kotoke's name should not still be on the airport?
We had the Accra International Airport. They make me dealing with coup, no? How unnecessary it was and how it set the stage for all the subsequent coups we had in Ghana. But for 24 February 1966. Enka, Sanya Menina Sabi. Enyadia and Kebeba.
No, I think this is it. Yeah.
Kenyadia Beba. 24 February 1966 by Enema.
Because you can never tell.
I am telling you, it set it opened the gate
for
all the subsequent coups. I'm telling you. Senior, you can disagree with me, but that's my conviction. Now, Kotoka died in the process of a counter coup. And this is the position of Kwame Nkrumah. When you read the Conakry years, page 312, he was writing to Jumel, now coup with Sudan. And this was his view. And that's why I had difficulty ever becoming a member of the NDC. Today I'm telling you.
Okay.
Nkrumah writes, or he wrote, the Sudan coup seems to be left-wing. And I am glad it was a left-wing operation. But you know my views of coup d'etats. All military coup d'etats, be they left or right, except military counter-coups, are an abomination and must be condemned. Really, if the operators of the Sudan coup think they are left communists, then the best thing for them to do is to hand over to the Communist Party of the Sudan to run the show, and they go back to the barracks. Soldiers anywhere have no right to interfere in politics in any circumstances. If they don't hand over to a civilian communist government soon, they will meet with a similar fate. What is the point? Kotoka died in a counter-coup.
Against the 66 coup?
Yes. Atayebua were rising, which Nkrumah endorses. Counter-coup, which was the AFRC.
Defense of the Constitution.
Yes. AFRC coup of 1979, June 4. Anytime I made June 4 was necessary. And I'm not alone in that. The good old professor who is late, emeritus professor Adubuahin.
But then those who also think, Kotoka's coup represented liberation for the Ghanaian people, no, would also justify the coup.
I will give
as you are now justifying
I'm
79.
I'm not justifying anything.
I will say it's justified.
I'm saying
the 79
the 79 counter coup that restored constitutional democracy and brought the Third Republic was justified because it overthrew an illegality and restored legality. And I'm saying Kotoka's death, he deserved it because he, look, let me read this for you. This is the judgment of Justice Aban, the ruling of Justice Aban in that case. Dear, I say, indeed, one can recapture the day of that coup, 24th February 1966, by referring to a passage in a book titled The Politics of Political Detention, 1971, by Kwame Kisiedu. It was first published in 1971. At page 52 of that book, the author gave a vivid description of his feelings and what he found. Dear, quote, in the midst of a desert of hopelessness, suddenly we found an oasis of hope, the argument you are making. This was 24 February 1966. There was a great deal of noise, of cheering, of merrymaking from outside. The message flashed into cell number 3, my cell. The army had seized power. General Ankara had assumed office. Afifa and Kotoka were heroes of the coup. So we also cheered.
Yes.
This was responded to from outside. That night, there was evidence. Kofi Bakun, Kwaku Boateng, and some ministers came in. Kofi Bakun was sent to Danquest's cell. Releases started that evening. More and more cabinet ministers of the CPP and CPP high-ranking officers were brought in batches. The next day, we saw them, and I went to greet my old friend Kofi Bakun. He smiled and waved. Then I saw my cousin, Aaron Oforiata. I saw Krobo Dusei and most of the ministers. We left Asha Fort by exchanging ourselves with members of the CPP government. I did not know whether to weep or to laugh.
This is so. Who is speaking here?
This is Kwaku, Kwame Kisiedu,
who
was in detention under the PDA of 1958 under the Nkrumah regime. Osi onu free on mono. Now ye the CPP force yan try one under the preventive detective custody. PDA was replaced immediately by a more draconian act, not passed by parliament, by military junta.
That's after the coup.
Yes. If the coup was because of PDA, what was the need for PDC? If one party state, that was a democratic decision of the people in 1964 and amended this constitution. I have problems with one party state, but it was a decision of the people. If it was bad, not through referendum.
Okay.
If it was bad, why did you ban the CPP?
When the CPP was banned,
yes,
were we left with just one political party?
No. other parties were formed. But the important thing is that it was not multi-party democracy that allowed all parties, because you banned one party. The point is that this is what someone is recounting. And he goes further to say, Obi, so 24 February 1966, as I said, was a day of joy for those who gained their freedom. And it was a day of sorrow for the relatives of those who were killed in cold blood at Flagstaff House, now Jubilee House, and their properties destroyed. And also for those who were arrested that day and incarcerated in Ashford and in other prisons in the country when they had not been tried and convicted. Even though, according to the passage quoted above, one of those persons smiled and waved when he entered Ashford, it should be remembered that there are men who could smile bravely before the world in the face of the deepest personal sorrow. So while others gained their liberty, others lost it. And to use again the expression of learned counsel for the plaintiff, Peter Alajete, they were dehumanized and humiliated. And some even later lost their right to take part in the politics of their country for 10 years. My point is this. I'm not one who likes to dwell on the past. It is the cemetery. But certain historical narratives must be said in their truest sense. People were affected on both sides, or different sides of the political line. The restitution of Accra International Airport is for one reason,
which is
the change to Kotoka was not motivated by anything altruistic and nationalistic. But as this decision, the judgment of this court said, to endorse criminality and make it look like Woody Bonnet, Naya Ancho, no for Woodia, would me celebrate the OPBR. We need to kill that. Of course. Bema Camp, there's a school named after Kutuka.
Yeah, there is.
And there are places around the country named after him. His name will never go off the history of our country. It will never. But for the gateway to Ghana, they hear me then say, me now for 4, me wafa asino, me ma be free brucha ba, and me busa me say,
why ni Kutuka?
Na why ni Kutuka biu? Na ma struggle busa say, ama answer say, onuna oye nyamran sendi tu kwa mkroma ba. Parishi atwam me bomb mpani Mahama baso. Say woma introduce sade no parliament na I go through. Say nyame adom ene edina bet. Na mom afutu say me wo ho. Me kana me kan mienu. There were certain things that the military used to rationalize their impunity. Civilian governments must remember, say to me or your ho.
Yes.
And power, a trust, yet jaw. And yema be man for bedrin say to me na ye dia fam ye no. Ye fro gina wo makonkon so at said the nipa binum o munya to me kakra bia wo mo ye no. Ye nyai e wa mamradi mu. Because yes, I now microphone can say, Amamra now would you 2 minutes free muno yen tun sign. That is what we must avoid. Of course, as Nkrumah himself said, was in a friend exile. The slate had been wiped clean because there were elements in the CPP who were not committed to the ideals. No person ye Ghana. Tim de mesra kan nyina say, yes, ye de nyame ase. Ene afifo fraso 24 February. Never again. Namum let Accra International Airport stay forever.
Honorable Mesa, what do you think on the change of, what's on your change of name, restoration to the status quo ante?
You see, Kabila Kasapi, Mamu worry, the what has become part of our history.
Yes.
Right or wrong, for me, in itself, teaches us lessons. And see, can we wish it away merely by changing names of places that have been named after them? Individuals now will play a certain role in our history and our and see, regardless of whether Kotoka no role in removing Kwame Nkrumah. And I must say, in the spirit of disclosures of interest, my father served in Nkrumah's government.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
The great old
James Mercer, yes.
And he was not corrupt. He wasn't corrupt.
To that extent, I can be said to be, one of the people. Of course, I wasn't born at the time.
Sure.
I'm a Latter-day Saint. Yeah. My father had a very large family. But my view is this: that look, whichever way you look at it, Counter-coups played a role in history as a country. Nizin cannot be erased. It's cast in stone.
Yeah.
The circumstances of February 24th, 1966 is part and parcel of our history. And see, if at the time the executive, and I'm sure the constitutions are transitional provisions or exonerate people, including the present 1992 constitution, exonerate people from crimes that they committed,
all because they overthrew this one.
Original
Kabila. All because of this.
Kabila. My disclosures.
Sorry for. No, not me. Document.
And so to that extent, I really think that changing the name and now restoring the name.
Yes.
Because after all, there are several monuments always in the Dawawasis and isn't what that be, including streets and some schools and other facilities.
For good reason.
And see, merely, I'm not so sure whether for good or bad reason, whichever way, it's part of our history. It's part of our history. And so to that extent, I think that as part of preserving your history, if people in government at the time took a decision to immortalize Counter-coups by naming the airport after him, it is not how many years down the line that we are going to change it to achieve what purpose, really?
To restore sanity in our history.
I'm not so sure whether
I am certain about that. We have been making this call. You see,
Kabila,
the Kwame Nkrumah Committee in 2009.
10 minutes.
Passion for Nkrumah. I agree with you to a large extent. But I'm saying that, you see, this government has done so many things. I think it won't augur well for national cohesion.
I agree with you. One of them is the removal of the CJ, and we are in court for that.
You see, beyond that, institutions be a previous government and now action be a previous government. You are going to undo it. And how is it going to be sustained when you leave office, which will happen to the glory of God by 2029 January 7th? So institutions like National Intelligence Bureau, which pursuant to an amendment of Yen Security Architecture, was changed from BNI to NIB. You come and you reverse it.
Why?
I don't know.
Why was it done in the first place?
But I must say, because of the amendment of our security architecture.
So the name too had to change.
No, but of course.
Only in China, Ghana police service.
Oh, you see, well, I don't know whether you think that for reasons that were advanced at the time, and I don't recall it vividly. Yes. And see, because of that, there were national NIA.
Yes.
And so, to that extent, I think that Kotoka International Airport is what everybody has known this airport. I mean, through my lifetime. Obi, I'm sure NS knowing that through our lifetime. That is the name that we've known our airport to be called. Nzebana Ebasan. When one Kasawo promises are make it to Ghana for commitments are in the run-up to the election. Key ones are and to me and for one sample and funky and focus on honor. The name changes, they will focus on her. I fail to see where the direction of this government really is. And so, universities are well named after eminent Ghanaians. There's 1 year affiliated to a party for they are all MPP affiliated people in a sense. And the assistants, that's the focus of the government. It's really. I fail to see why
that is happening.
Why we should focus on majoring on minors rather than the key things that will transform the lives of the Ghanaian youth across the country. I promise you one day, any of them who is willing and able, Obenye Juma waye because eba edin bar public service entities now Obenye Juma. Formula 133. What about we run a 3 shift? 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. 14 months down the line.
Okay.
Now that's what I'm saying. That the focus on the key things are Magana fuye than dwelling on these name changes all over the place. That would really not serve any useful purpose.
4 minutes.
Thank you. Obi. Mama Pere, I want to wait including Bunya Kabila no
Honorable Mesa.
Honorable Bobo.
Yes.
What I said. NDC. Amanyoku na wababemu. Onyedo odi jumana odi please sebi NDC na amanyoku ma. Memu nkomo a wani Ghana fudi ntina odi nka maka cho de. Nkomo a yedi nti. Sensem bi popo ino odi da waka. NDC fo no ye bahwe na edi ye atuye. Kotoka o kwabno kojo bitukwa na sa akwa amanone. Na wara epentem na preli to ejaw na shi obi wodam kru na ewodon na obi so de hin na ereko umirika tu na aba country na ereko ebi an mbodo amruko ho but yen na ya de na akra sekuo so nyekuo so fa hikosi hi se mayeba kan biara nti I'm happy do kan de o kutuka nara ndema bi wo hopo a ewe ni din ebonwu de ni din dado onye bibia na ode ehwe
automatically come with kutuka
onye bibia na ode ehwe nde ye shedam spectacle na emum ye ehwe nde dem change ya wa be oyada awara nkasa apart from there all the history ne baba mo bi baka kutuka mo feel bad obi on say adibiara internationally hwensesa locally ha na eba ndama ekuru ebien onukra minister ahye mbode change nukra no nhye dan nyehu ka wono nọọsụ osana wana wogudu a wosesa ndaman ofi bi to be na woye ehu hia de oman ye pede yesesa na ya sesa ndam nyukeso ya Accra International Airport asem newi obi if you are maka cho dem pede GR sema ka GR sema ka
mohin no sensem no doso mohin changes na why na and 85 million
transit no
okay
finance minister here in video na
yes
ehun na minister no ye worried obi yen na ye chechim chero be worried senti de obi o man ye be chichi ni ye ya adwe na ye tuatwa nyina obi o kagina sikasam na obi imepi no sasem sia na ye hwe ne ya kasam na asam no so ye bonu so ye papa obi ye hwe nyimpo gina ho o ye politician na ye ze super na ye te gunuru ye to abasisia na ye yi party no former banna party ni ba no ba fa ni mpanyifo o man ni nyina na nyi je chi de abadze na ban be ya obotum atoto them out there obi mesrepa the GR me know what the interdiction of officers be na obi oye one normal routine obi adena wa kodo no oye criminal alleged alleged then no na that be oye no kwade ade wo diverting na yes alleged ni ye hwem na wana no ye na wana no ye na wana no ye onu ne yen hu nyipa na mrakwa mu wose me yen bosi mesinidi na mu yen hwem ne yen hu nyipa oye ananya dem ti na ka alleged no bi si ye twi yen hu afi ho na ya kodo na ya jatum de susu ampara dem ayewa enema no yi oni ba kwa na wo fado wo ehun adwuma obi there is no way enyim dey wo transit yard especially ikotema porter okay transit goods oba wo nyina customs officers wo ehun adwuma wo dey fa obi se edi dem adwuma na chira betma telephone ya mikite phone krope epa ma munko CFS na mkele mkeyi mu phone krope na phone ni hihye ni chede midifi amano ne na mede be na roko transit on found o yekor obi dwuma di bi o de wo fa ho di bia wo beti said the masemi yempo enwua na ya hwe na ya fa support na ma ho political leaders na wo ho okay awon no de wo hwe na hwem ni nyina akodon na obi yanko to the bottom obi de bia o platform your baba na politician na o conflict of interest na ye ka